Shut up and sit down.
Hey there, welcome to Spurs Unscripted. I'm Nige, pure Coys, and we thought we'd do a little Friday night show. Just for, why not? So, let's introduce the guest. Of course, I have my right-hand man, Dan from the Spurs Danlist. How you doing, mate?
Evening, Nige. Hope you're good. Evening, Mark. Mark?
Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Hope you're both well. And Mark, obviously.
And of course, we have the two Marks. I think it's rude sometimes saying the two Marks because you should be introduced separately. So, Cookmeister, how are you?
Good evening, Nige. I'm well, thank you. Got a bit of a chesty going on, but I'm all good, mate. Thank you very much.
Good. And of course, the Sheriff. How you doing, buddy?
All's good, mate. All's good. Let's talk some Tottenham.
Let's do it. Thank you to everyone who's joining us. Big up in the chat. Much love.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the weekend's game against United first. Anyone want to start?
It's
Always on.
It's the Mud Brothers, isn't it? I'm not sure whether to play football or mud wrestling. They could get like a couple of skimpy women in there, just have a mud wrestle for an hour and a half. That'd do me. But no. And also, but in all fairness, the two teams are mudded, isn't they? It's a game a few years ago that would have deserved to be on, prime time Sunday afternoon. It's really not deserving at the moment, is it? Is it the battle of 13th and 14th, I believe? So there we are.
Still United, though, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a big game.
You know
but
what I mean? It's a big game still. I think it's a big game.
Yeah, but in the context of things this season, it's not really a big game, is it? In the past, it's sort of had ramifications on it. European qualification. But it's sort of not really important this year. Well, it is important, obviously, for the points, but it's not as important.
Got a good record against them, aren't we, this season? So I'm expecting us to win.
I think I predicted us to win.
I think I did too.
In Jose's predictions league, I'm sure I did. That's probably the kids of death straight away, but
Did anyone listen to Ange's press conference today?
Certainly not.
No. Not interested, mate, because it's the same thing every week, Dan.
He was happy today.
Was he?
He was in a good mood, yeah. He said we had a good week. Do you know why? Because we didn't lose.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good week. We never played.
I was going to say, was there no injuries in training?
No.
Possibly the King when he went round there the other day.
Yeah.
They didn't give him a very hard time, the press today. They were, he was having a good old laugh with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Normally, he won't even look at the camera, will he? Head down, little cough.
That might change by Sunday.
Might do. I personally, I don't think we'll win. That's just my opinion. I think we get beat 2-1. You know, I think from what I've seen of Amorim, he's trying to install something at United with not his own players. But I think it'll work out for him. He's a very good coach. And I can see he's trying to, even with the wrong players there, he's trying to put some structure together in the system that he plays. Whether that suits what he's got is a different matter. But at least when I watch him, I can see what he's trying to implement. And when I watch us, I don't see the same, even now, the structure on the pitch. And that's what I'm more worried about. You know, all the other stuff we might be, you know, talking about, but I'm more worried about what's going on the pitch. And I think it's very important that as fans, we see what's going on. And if we can see it, surely people can't be that pig-headed enough not to see what's going wrong on the pitch. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, he's kind of only been there 5 minutes as well, isn't he, Amorim? So, you know, you've got to give him time.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think next season is when you really judge him. Whereas Ange has had the best part of 2 years now, and we are literally going one way. You know, there's not a progression, there's a regression.
No.
So, yeah. Saying that, though, I fancy us.
Well, Maddison should be featuring, possibly Vicario. They're back in training. Johnson's back in training. Wilson, Odebert's back in training. But I'm not too sure if those two are going to be starting, but they may be on the bench. There was an update on the centre-backs, still not quite ready. But he was very Ange was very kind of like, you know, we've had this week now, we're getting players back, and about preparing for the week after as well, about that then we'll have some more players back. Doesn't want to rush certain players in. We only can playing one game a week, can't we, really? That's what we can really cope with. So I don't know. I think Johnson will be back soon as well. But important to have Maddison back. We need him. I hope he starts. And Destiny as well possibly will start as well. So, you know, that will make us better.
So if Destiny starts, Dan, do you think he will drop Spence?
Yeah, he will. Because he will see it that Porro's had a week off, hasn't he? So he'll be ready to go.
He basically said he was going to do that anyway, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said when a dog is fit, he'll be back in. So obviously I wouldn't imagine he'll drop Porro unless he's going to give him a rest, and then Spence gets in at right back. I don't know.
Ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Spence has been our best defender. You know, certainly out of the fullbacks. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. You know, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I mean, how Spence can get in that team is beyond me. Especially after his performances in the last, 6 weeks? 7 weeks? However long he's been in there? You know,
he should play. He should play right back. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, and you got to remember Spencer's been at left back as well, which is the wrong side for him. You know, officially he's a right back. You know, and he's not really played there, is he?
Would you play Spence right back and play Porro right mid, or would you just leave Porro out to give him a rest?
Porro is in desperate need. He's played probably the most minutes. He's certainly up there because he, you know, I mean, surely that man needs a rest. Just give him a week off. Yeah. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, against Liverpool, when Porro come on, and we all thought, okay, Porro might go where you said right mid, up further. He then ended up putting Spence like right wing.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
It's just, I just don't understand what he's doing. I can't see. I think Porro's either right back or not playing.
Yeah, would you prefer to have him right mid though? If he was, you know, weren't knackered, you know, would you think of that as an option? lads.
I would, yeah, and order position. He likes putting players slightly out of position, and I'm not saying Polo would be slightly out of position playing right wing, because I think he would be better going forward. I think that would be the most obvious one to play, wouldn't it? Surely,
Yeah.
putting Polo further up.
Yeah.
But
because he has
Well,
got a decent
best
cross
crosser of
on
the
him.
ball, isn't
Yeah, I was just going to say that he has got a decent cross on him.
he?
Yeah.
You know, but it's just not so good going the other way, is he? He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, you only got to look at the Villa game to see that. First minute,
I mean-
I'm sure we've all seen the photograph when Porro's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So if he was playing for Manchester United, he'd be playing as a wing back.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's what he was
They
bought
play
for.
for it at the back. They play for it at the back. So I get what you're saying, Mark, about putting him right midfield, but it'd probably be wing back. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, as in, yeah. I mean, whether he'll still manage to get up and down or not, I don't know. But if Spence is there, playing in his natural position, then surely you would want Porro to be advanced a bit more so that he can use that weapon of putting those balls in the box. You know, it's not like he's got to go and beat a man. Give him the ball and let him do what he's good at.
Mm.
And I think this is the same for all of them, Dan, to be honest with you. You know, the terminology is used a lot, square pegs, round holes. We need to start putting those round pegs in round holes, because we do seem to play, sorry about my voice, we do seem to play players out of position a lot. You know, and it's like what you just said about Maddison coming back. That's fine, because I want Maddison in the team because he is our playmaker. But the trouble is that because we only play one way, all Maddison's space is hit by everyone else, Dan and Nigel and Mark.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't get the room to do what he's good at anyway.
No.
You know, it's very sparse compared to what it could be.
And so you see Maddison a lot when he does play. He's on the halfway line. He should be nowhere near there. You know, he should be like 30 yards further up, like creating stuff. You don't want to see him back in our own half or on the halfway line. No, he's not that player. You know, that's where your number 8 should be. You know, but I don't know.
It's only the same as Solanke dropping off all the time, Mark.
Yeah.
He's your centre forward. So, all right, I don't want him to be a goal hanger. He's got to work, you know, to a certain degree. But I want him in the box.
Yeah.
It'll be Tell's first game at home, won't it? I think.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
And he'll
so
start at left. He'll start on the left. Son will be up front. Kulusevski, and then hopefully Maddison behind. And then it's probably Bentancur, Basuma in the middle. Maybe Sarr. Could be Bergwall. Same old, really. I think Man United, I think it will be quite... I don't think it's going to be the best games. I think being at home, I think we might edge it. But it's 2 poor teams, isn't it, really? It's going to be... It's just going to be a bit desperate. It could go either way. I don't think either side are confident of winning the game, but maybe we edge it because we're at home, got a couple of players back.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a week's rest now, so there's no excuseness of tiredness. So we'll see what we look like on Sunday. It's kind of like not a new start, but do you know what I mean? Like we've been knocked out of all the cups. Everybody's fed up. Everyone's down. Let's see what the players have got to give on the weekend. It's just, you know, it's on TV, Super Sunday. But I wouldn't be calling it Super Sunday.
No,
it's
Damp Squib Sunday, probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, isn't it? Because obviously what's going on the day as well. It's going to be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out, if it affects the players, what happens in the stadium regarding the chant, what happens after the game. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting afternoon. And it's one of those games for me, and I know I shouldn't say this as a Spurs fan, because I am a Spurs fan. I've been a Spurs fan for 40 years. But it's almost at the point where, yes, I want us to win, of course. If we win, brilliant. if we lose, I'm kind of at that point where I'm just like, I don't care. If we win, great. If we lose, great. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't wait for the season to end. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very rare in the sort of 50 years I've supported Tottenham that I felt like this. That I'm not even bothered about watching it. To be honest, if I had something else to do, I'd probably go and do that. To be honest, maybe watch Match of the Day. Later on, Match of the Day 2, whatever it is, on a Sunday night. Yeah, but it could be one thing I will say is I'm not sure if you can put this bet on, but I would put a bet on that there'd be at least one sort of howler that leads to a goal or something. Or what? Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to be us. I'm not saying it's going to be Man United, but just one real Rick. Where I don't know, because their keeper's not very good. Our defense is shocking. Just one bit of madness in the game, like Basuma goes in and gets sent off or something, or Onana chucks one in his own net, or just some madness like that. I got a feeling there's going to be something like that in the game.
I get what you mean, Mark, though, that feeling of just it's just we're not playing for anything for this game, are we?
No.
Normally we're pushing for Europe, so the points are important. It's just we're middle February, and we're feeling we're not excited about the game. It's just been this whole season sucked the life out of us. Let's be real, it has.
And the thing is, we're still in Europe, but I'm sure that I can't speak for you lot, but I've got no inkling of feeling that we're going to go and win that with the way that we're playing.
No.
I know some fans have. Don't worry, lads. We're in the Europa. We'll go and win that. But even if you did, that puts you in the Champions League next season. What's that doing with the current squad we've got now? We can't win at home against bottom of the table teams.
No. I just think the Europa League is something, isn't it? It's different because at least it's a kind of there's a pressure to it. You have to win. You have to get through. Yeah, so there's something to watch and get behind. And Ange has got no excuses. He'll have most of the players back by then. That's what he keeps saying, that we're not been doing well because of the players are missing. Well, then Ange, go and do something in this competition. That's it. That's what he's got to do. And I think a lot of us will be focusing on that competition rather than the league. The league is just going to be kind of, unless we start playing well all of a sudden, put a few results together, it's just all a bit, just nothing really. It's just hard work, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Well, we all did a show. No, carry on, Nige.
Go on, I was going to say, what are we all thinking about Europe? Do we think we've got a chance? Because I was just looking at the results earlier, and I saw that Galatasaray got stuffed 4-1.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance they might go out. They were the team I was fearing in the next round, to be honest, the most.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, for some unknown reason, we are still favourites for the Europa League. Certainly in this country, whether they just big us up because of the bookmakers and or whatever, but certainly the betting sites I've looked at in this country, we're still favourites for the Europa League. I don't know what the odds is. It was ages ago since.
I think that's based on the players, isn't it, rather than the manager? Because whenever we get into a tricky game in that Europa League, where it's a bit more tactical, where maybe we have to shut up shop in one of the games to get through, that's where I think we'll be found out.
Yeah, there's a chance we can play. Is it Sociedad, Spanish club as well? I wouldn't want to be playing them with Zubamendi in midfield, would you?
No.
So who are we going to play in the next round? Who are we playing in the next round?
Well, there was a choice of 4, wasn't there?
Yeah, Midtjylland or Sociedad and 2 others. I can't remember who the 2 others are.
Galatasaray, isn't it?
Galatasaray and Alkmaar.
Alkmaar, that's it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Alkmaar 4-1 up against Galatasaray.
Yeah.
I just think
Sociedad are 2-1 up.
just think, Nige, lads, that unless there's a coach brought in to coach the players into a style, he can make some of those pegs round with the players that he's got into a better system than what's being played now. And I think then we may have a chance if they got the right person in. But I think with Ange, and if he stays till the end of the season, or we just carry on what we're doing, I think we'll be found out, especially in Europe. I really do. I haven't got much hope for us winning the Europa League. I hope I'm wrong. I always want Spurs to win, but I just can't see it. I can't see it happening. But like I say, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, look, we have to get behind something, don't we? In Europe, it's a competition we want to win. Whatever our feelings are around the manager and that he's not good enough, we will get behind the team and we want to get to that final. Because what's the point otherwise? Within February, we've got 3 more months left of the season. We've got to try and focus on something. Now, what will be interesting is now we should see then in the next couple of weeks that Ange should have close to full strength team.
Yep.
And then we're going to play some, Ipswich away, Man City at home. So if you look at that 26th, maybe that's a bit too early, but maybe the week at the beginning of March, we'll have most players back. And there's no excuse for Ange now. There's none. We need to be winning games at home, especially with a full strength team. So we'll see what we'll look like when it comes to that around that time, and to see if there is an improvement in our performances, and it will just see what it looks like. Because Bournemouth are having a really good season. They've got loads of injuries as well, and they're still up there. I think they're like 7th in the league. So, look, it's I know I'm trying to get us thinking, get us talking and trying to look at discussion points around what's coming up, because at the moment we're all feeling really low, aren't we? We're all feeling down, and it's all a bit of effort, isn't it? Hard work.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I never ever thought I'd say this. I'm looking forward to the next international break.
Oh no.
And normally, normally, like England, like frustrate the hell out of me, and I just can't be fussed to watch it, especially that Nations League nonsense, But like the Euros, that all got us, I even wore an England shirt out for the final, but I said never again. I just don't get excited by watching England, but now I'm looking forward to watching them.
That's bad, Mark.
I mean, this is how desperate things have become.
Yeah. No, I used to hate them breaks.
Yeah, I think we just got to try, and I know it's difficult, try and get behind the team as much as we can.
Yeah.
And just hope we can pull, and I can see us beating United, and then I can see us beating Ipswich, and we always beat City at home. So, I don't know. We win 2 games in a row and suddenly everything's not so bad. We get a few players back and maybe we can start thinking more positively. I think I'm in such a negative state as well, because I want to see a change in the ownership and the manager, that I'm kind of not focused on the long term, which is actually even the short term, winning games. And my camera's gone. Winning games, and instead I'm worried about the manager all the time, thinking, oh, if we lose at least the manager's gone. I think for me personally, I've got to start thinking, no, we need to start winning games.
Yeah.
What do people thought? Did you hear what Amarin said today? He says he sympathises with Ange because of the injuries, but he says he's under bigger pressure because he's at a bigger club.
Really true.
Yeah, there's no getting away from it, really. Man United are probably the biggest team in the world. They are. Well, they're certainly the biggest team in this country, just as a fan base. If you take the fan base, they're probably the biggest team in this country. I know Liverpool fans will start saying, "Oh, no," and there are a lot of big teams, but Man United are probably, well, they've got to be the biggest team in this country and probably the world, to be honest. You could go to the moon and probably bump into a Man United fan. So, I mean, Man United are a massive, massive club, and they're bigger than us. I don't mind admitting that. Just historically, fan base wise, they are, and there's no getting away from that. And so, personally, I think he's right, to be honest. But we all love our club, and we all think we're the biggest. Don't we? I mean, Tottenham are a massive club. Don't get me wrong, but in comparisons with Man United, no, we're nowhere near them. And just in the stature, the size, the fan base, all of that. That's my opinion anyway.
Why do people think he made that comment in this press conference today? Because it's quite, is that,
Well, he's taking a bit of pressure off himself, isn't it?
Yeah.
By
he's
saying
struggling
he's under more
himself,
pressure.
isn't he? Yeah, I was going to say he's struggling himself, isn't he? Because Man United can't buy a win at the moment.
But he hasn't got the tools, Mark, has he?
No. But this is what I'm saying.
Has he got the tools or not? This is a question.
No, he hasn't got his own players in, Dan, has he? So, you can pop on Man United streams and they'll all say to you, we've got to give this fella this season and let him get his players in the summer, or at least some of them. I think he's in the situation of he's trying to create something on the pitch with players that are not his. So even if he decided to keep, I want half of them, there's another half that he doesn't want. And that's why he's changing his personnel all the time, trying to find the right way, the right structure to play, the right tactics for his team. But until he gets a certain amount of players in that are his players, it's not going to happen. So this season for me is a free pass for him. Once he starts getting his players in the summer, if it's still going wrong next season, then they'll have to look again. But I don't think you can judge him at the moment on where he is.
I agree.
Don't you think he's got some good players, though? I think Man United have got some good players. No?
Nige?
Yeah, no. I agree with what you say. I think the Premier League's so underrated. A lot of these foreign managers do fantastic. Look at Postecoglou; he's done great wherever he's been. He's come to the Premier League and is struggling. There's no doubt Amorim's got talent, but where was he managing? Portugal?
Yeah.
The Portuguese league is not the strongest league in the world. So I think, where he might be a very good young manager, but I just think a lot of managers underestimate how strong, I'm not saying good quality, how strong the Premier League is, and how, on any given day, even the worst sides can show you up if you're not on it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Nige, to be honest. I just think he's got talent, the bloke. I know, like you say, he's only come from Portugal, but when you watched him as a manager at Lisbon, again, they'd played under him for a while when he had players there that were playing his way, and they got it in the end. You know what it's like, Nige. Things don't click in overnight. Sometimes they do for managers. They turn up, put a system in place, and bang, everyone loves it. It does happen, but I just
what do you think they're missing there, Mark? Man United. If you look at their team, what are they missing in that team?
For him, I'm just talking about for Amorim personally. I don't think he's got certain players there that can do the job that he wants them to do, whether that be technically or in their mind or whatever the reason may be. There's just some players that he doesn't fancy, but in certain occasions he has to play them, whether he likes them or not.
Yeah.
I think you'll find there'll be a lot of players gone at United in the summer, and there'll be a few coming in. And then next season, you may well see a different United. Again, just my opinion. I'm not saying the players that they've got there now, Dan, are crap. I'm not saying that. I just think they're struggling to adjust to playing how he wants to play. That's all.
I think they're lacking a striker, a really top striker. I think they are.
I love Højlund. I said when Højlund came in, I thought he would be great for United. Whether they're playing to his strengths or not now, because the manager's changed, is a different story. But he was another one that worked really hard, Højlund, and didn't really get, he was never in the right position, if you know what I mean. He was never in the box enough. And he just works hard. But whether he's getting the system or not, I don't know. I've seen him getting pelters in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So,
he hasn't got settled. He hasn't got settled defence either, has he?
No,
because he keeps making changes with his back three, back five, whatever you want to say. I mean, I don't think he's trying different players in, or different combinations of players to see what he thinks. But I mean, what did he come in just before Christmas? He's got the rest of this season, hasn't he? Like, to see who he wants. Like Mark said, see who he wants, see who he don't want.
Yeah.
Get them out, get some new ones in.
They've got quite a lot of young players, I thought. They've spent young, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're quite a youthful team. Then obviously you've got Fernandes in there, Ugarte.
Do you think he'll stay, Dan? Fernandes? Do you think he'll stay at United this season? Because he gets a lot of pelters,
He does.
A lot of United fans that really don't like him.
But his contract, I don't know how long he's got left in his contract, but I haven't heard any talk that he's leaving. He's the captain, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So,
and that's the Fernandes we should have had.
Yeah.
Or we could have had.
Could have had.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think they're going to do a lot of in and outs in the summer. They've probably got a sell to buy. Whether Ineos have got more money to plough in there, I don't know. But I think they'll definitely maybe rake in a few quid to get 2 or 3 in for him in the summer.
Yeah,
that's the difficulty, isn't it? Trying to move players on. They have to do that. They can't just bring in a load of players and change the whole team.
No.
It's tough, isn't it? We've had that problem over the years, trying to shift players. Just can't get them off our books, can we?
Well,
they just hang around forever, and then in the end, things go wrong. Like, remember Doherty? We had to let him go because we had too many players in the squad or something silly like that.
No, we were going to loan him. We were going to loan him when we couldn't count to 8.
That's it.
Because you're only allowed 8 out on loan, aren't you? We already had 8 out on loan, so we had to rip his contract up and let him leave for free.
And Aurea, we just sell him as well. We just got rid of him as well, didn't we? Aurea, and there was another one, Undembele. Just had to pay him off.
Yeah. Well, but to be honest, like especially Undembele, you got to question the scouting team on that, because when we were linked with him, I mean, even I managed to do it, and I'm useless with technology. You just put his name into YouTube, and everything you see. All right, you see the video where he looks like Pele or that, because they just show the best bits over about 5 years. But then if you look into it and you sort of Google his name or something, there's like this about his attitude, that about his attitude. He's lazy, he's this, he's that. He likes McDonald's and all this, and so I blame the scouts on that, because they should have known all that. And why we spent 60-odd million quid on the bloke, I never know. And made him the highest, virtually the highest earner, or the highest earner, I think he was. It's you got to question the sort of scouts and
we've made some super boobies though, Mark, haven't we?
Oh Christ, yeah, it's endless, isn't it?
You know what I mean? You can go on and on and on with them over the past few years. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I mean, if you want to stretch it over the last 20 years, the players that we've missed out on just by haggling and messing about over a couple of million. Matty, big up, sir. And Queen Ellie, I saw you in the comments. Big up.
Big up.
You know, the players that we've missed out on just by haggling over, you know, a few million, few pence. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, we could have had. Is it
How much did we
Sané?
have Jack Grealish for? How much?
It wasn't much. It wasn't
a lot,
much.
was it?
No, something like 8 million. 8 million. And then in the time where our glorious leader, in inverted commas, was messing about, arguing about 50p and that, like the new owners come in, like the Americans that now own Villa come in and said, no. We'll put his price up to like 20, 30 million now, because they had loads of money and they didn't necessarily need to sell him. And so we lost out. We could have had him for something like 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, something like that. But it's you know,
look, the recruitment is just shocking over the years. Look, we could talk about it forever. This rubbish. Yeah. That's why we never really do anything, because we never buy top quality players. We just take punts, young players, average players. We never go and take a top player from a club. You know, it's just boring.
I call it a punt club, Dan.
Yeah.
A what?
A punt club.
Oh, I thought you said that.
Yeah, we'll take a punt on him and we'll take a punt on him and we'll see how it goes, because we've only got to pay him this much instead of this much.
Exactly.
We were wondering what you said.
So I won't swear in.
No.
Behave yourself.
So talking about United, which we were just doing, is there any of the United players that are probably going to leave that you will take at Spurs? I.e., a Garnacho, maybe. Trying to think who else they're going to get rid of. Is there anyone you take?
I'll take a fit Lenny Yoro all day. I think he's going to be something special, that kid.
Yeah. What about Maguire? Would you take him?
No.
Bloody hell, no. No. Good. No.
Mainu, would you take Mainu?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Absolutely, I would take Mainu. Yeah.
Ahmad?
Yeah.
But they're not players they're going to get rid of, are they? You know, I'm talking about their cast off.
I don't know. Would you have Garnacho at Spurs?
No, I don't like his face. I know that's really bad. I know.
Every he does this or whatever.
That's the reason, right?
Yeah. He never looks happy, does he? And his hair, he has stupid haircuts. Yeah. Got to look good in a Spurs shirt.
Mason Mount.
I would actually take Mason Mount. I think he's all right when fit, but he's never fit. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's never fit, is he?
Let me know. And if he turned up with our medical team, they'd probably put him down.
Yeah. I don't know. There's that many they can get rid of, to be honest. A lot of them are young players. Obviously, Casemiro will go. But a lot of these signings are quite... Maguire may go.
See, I'd have Maguire in a heartbeat.
Dallow's been there a while.
Just to sit in our defence. If we're going to play with a three at the back...
How old's Maguire these days?
He's got to be 30, isn't he now? But
what's happening,
a bit of experience.
Nige, what's happening when the ball goes over his head?
Well, that's what we got Van der Ven for.
Yeah, but he's always injured as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I just think we need that little bit of leadership, and I think he's a leader.
We definitely need that, Nige.
Yeah.
We need it in abundance. We've got nothing, have we?
No.
Who are you talking about? Maguire?
Yeah.
I'm not desperate.
He's too slow.
No, it's not for me. Nige said he'd take him.
Imagine him in an Ange system, Nige.
Oh, in an Ange system? Yeah, not happening. I'm thinking if we get another manager who plays three at the back, maybe.
It takes him 5 minutes.
We got Radu. I wouldn't take him. No way.
No
way. That's going backwards. No way I would take him. Maguire. The younger bloke, Mark, you said, Euro. What's his name?
Lenny Euro, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
We can't take him. We've got enough youngsters.
Yeah, but you say about youngsters, Nige, but when you look at him play, as a defender, he's got a bit of technical ability about him. He's not just a defender, I'll get rid of it. Do you know what I mean?
I've not seen him.
He's quite composed. He's had a few problems with injuries, but he's quite composed on the ball, you know, and I like that type of defender. A bit, not to the level, but a bit like Toby and Yam were. It weren't a case of, I've done my job, bang, up the pitch. He's got a bit of a brain on him, and he thinks about what he's doing, And I think in time, if he can stay fit, he'd be a very, very good defender. Lenny Yoro, I like him.
They spent a lot of money on him, didn't they? A lot of potential.
Yeah,
but they've spent loads of money. Have they got rid of that Anthony yet? I think he's gone out on loan, hasn't he?
Gone to Batiste, hasn't he?
Is it loan?
Doing well as well. Yeah, he's doing well right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't believe a club the size of Man United are in like financial trouble. There's so much money they've spent, because it's PSR or whatever it's called these days that they got to sell to buy. That's ridiculous for a club the size of, for a club the size of Man United. Well, I suppose, and was it, and are the council going to build them a ground or something as well, isn't it? Because Old Trafford's basically fallen to bits.
Yeah, apparently so. The
government
are dealing with it for them, aren't
they? Yeah. The government are going to help. They never helped us out, did they?
Well, Man United are so reliant on getting this manager getting it right, getting the recruitment right. Otherwise, they can't spend bundles, loads and loads of money. They've got to get rid of players. It's not an easy place to be, is it? Really, at the moment, Man United, it's probably going to take a couple of years. Big up.
What's happening with this PSR thing?
Aren't they keeping it?
Haven't Man City got off today? Or
did they?
Aren't they about to get off the charges?
I don't know.
I don't know a lot about it. I saw a little message, probably the same one that you saw, Nige. Saying something about, I don't know if it's the equivalent of they're getting away with it, or said something about Man City are vindicated or something, didn't it?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but apparently like I said, I haven't read much into it, but Man City now could be about to sue the Premier League.
Yeah.
Again?
I don't know.
This is about the second or third time they've sued them, isn't it?
Yeah,
they've done it in the past, but the thing is, the thing is with it all, like Man City have obviously done things wrong, whereas they wouldn't have like 115 charges, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So, and now they're crying, just they have got the most money, and the owners are absolutely minted, and I'm sure they were trying to do the Premier League to say, look, just we got all the money, why can't we spend it? But I think the Premier League brought PSR in to try and stop all that, didn't they? To save some country buying a football team, and then just, as in the past, like Abramovich did with Chelsea, the people who own Man City have done with Man City. They brought it in to try and sort of level the playing fields a bit, But the most irritating thing out of all of that is we're top of that bloody list and we still do nothing.
So do you know what, with the spending, Mark? Do you know the spending? So in the past 5 years, net spend, Chelsea are at the top, 760, yeah? Man United are second, 567. And guess who's third?
Spurs.
Yeah, 466 over the last 5 years.
That's net spending.
Yeah, that's right.
And you got to remember, so that net spend, we sold Harry Kane for bloody 100 million euros, 80 odd million quid. So that sort of balances out a bit, doesn't it? So you can add that we spent probably $500 million.
So the club spends money, it just spends it all for you.
Yeah. Well, it's just a youth project, isn't it? Well, I'm surprised he ain't sold Matty K. He's 15.
60 million for Richarlison, 60 million for Solanke. It all adds up.
And
I haven't got a problem with the young players we signed.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to just say, the thing is, players like Richarlison, they're not recouping that money.
No.
They might do, unless he goes to Saudi.
Well, maybe if he goes to Saudi, but, it was madness to pay 60 million quid for him anyway.
There was rumours in the summer that Spurs had an offer and Richarlison didn't want to go. he turned it down. That was the rumours I heard, that we actually received an offer from some team in Saudi Arabia, and Richarlison turned it down. He said he didn't want to go.
No, I think he'd go this summer.
I saw something about that as well. I read something about that.
Yeah, but
guys, it really shows us up, doesn't it? This amount of spending and how rubbish we are.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest are down 9th in this table. Villa are 10th in the table.
Well, there we go.
Bournemouth, God knows where they are in it.
And
they're well above us.
And I bet Brighton are probably the best out of all of that, because they buy someone who we've all got Google for 2 million, then sell him for 70 2 years later. You know, I mean, they're the masters there.
Forest scouts are doing their job properly. When you're buying players in like Murillo and the other centre half, and their back line costs like, I don't know, what was it, 30 million quid or something like that? Wasn't even that, I don't think. You know, and they're performing like they do. You know, that Milenkovic, what a defender he is.
Great player.
What a defender he is.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows you the club's a mess, isn't it? Like recruitment is, and we're just so rubbish. And look at the money we spent over the last 5 seasons. I mean, it's such a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
An alarm bell.
Levy will say, I do spend money, and he does.
Yeah.
He does. We're third in the last 5 years. But who have you bought?
Yeah. Well, it's all kids, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's numbers as well. It's numbers. Yeah. What's it? Yeah. Quantity over quality.
Yes.
But we've always been like that. Well, you know, we can go back to the last question. When was the last time we bought someone, and when you're either watching on the telly or you're in the stadium, and you go and your backside comes off the seat, and you think, wow. Do you know what I mean? A long, long time ago. You can go back to Van der Vaart.
Yeah.
You can go back to, I don't know.
Gareth Bale.
Bale became that player.
Yeah, Gareth Bale did get there. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But
Berbatov.
We don't have those players anymore, do we?
Keane.
Yeah.
Foe used to do it. He used to get us off our seat. Aaron Lennon.
Ginola. Yeah. Every time Ginola got the ball, everyone stood up.
But I think, Mark, what you're indicating is the last 5 seasons, aren't you? That there's not been really. Yeah. Maddison was, you know, people were quite excited about him coming on his day. He can do great things, but he's just not consistent enough, is he?
No. And we was warned about that by Wayne Holland.
Yes. He said 33%, didn't he? He said because the Leicester fans nicknamed Maddison Mr. 33%.
And Matty in the chat, Mr. Dembele, Dele Alli used to do it, didn't he? He used to get our seats.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale, yeah.
That's back
but we just don't buy them players anymore, do we?
Well, I said this on another show, that the last really world-class, top-class player that we bought in the peak of his powers, I'm not saying Van der Vaart, because Van der Vaart was, in my opinion, just on his way the other side of the hill. And, you know, he was basically booted out of Real Madrid when we bought him because they didn't want him anymore. He was still good.
He had the class, though, didn't he? Remember that goal against Arsenal he scored?
Yeah.
He just took it, one touch, bang, goal.
I love Van der Vaart, but the main reason I love Van der Vaart is because he was like to the Arsenal fans, because you always scored against them. We'd always shush him running around the ground.
But he was a quality player, man. There's no doubt about it.
But even so, Van der Vaart, he, in my opinion, was just he reached the crest and he was just coming down the other side. The last player that we bought in the peak of their powers was Klinsmann, and that was 1994.
Do you not think that football's just changed though now?
It
I was talking about
us.
it last night, and but not for everyone. It's like you look at the Premier League now. You go through all the teams, and you look at even the best teams. Have any of them got players that actually really get you off your seat? Okay, Liverpool might have Salah to an extent, but he's just a pure goal scorer. Can you name me like players that you think, oh wow, I want to watch him?
Rodri Rodri.
Well, Rodri's class.
De
When you used to look in
De
the
Bruyne maybe.
But even De Bruyne's going down. Whereas in the
Yeah.
90s, when we used to, even the rank average teams, you had Middlesbrough would have Juninho, Emerson, Ravanelli.
Yeah.
Even Sheffield Wednesday would have like Carbone and Petrescu.
Di Canio.
Like whereas, Di Canio, we just don't have those kind of players anymore, do we?
No. I personally, I think football's changed. And most players now, whatever position you're in, you're sort of trained to be a robot.
We've got Chris Wood, guys, though, haven't he? He scored 17 goals this season. Does he get you off his seat?
Yeah.
Chris Wood?
Chris Wood is one of them, just for me, that he works really hard. He does his job, Dan. He does his job. And I know he can be very in and out, but this season, he's on fire, isn't he? So you can't knock the geezer because he's doing it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you'd say, I'd take him at Spurs or not is a different story. On this season's form, of course you would.
And Wemo for Brentford, do you like him?
All day.
Yeah.
All day. I love...
In the chat, Audio Ortison, Matoma.
Matoma as well. I love players that take people on, Dan.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're there for. Do you know what I mean? Wingers and that. I want to see them go past their man.
Yeah.
And I want to see them get it in the box. Or cut in and shoot or do whatever they're doing. But I like to see someone, go past their defender and have a go at them. It doesn't always work, but when it does.
Gordon, what about Gordon for Newcastle?
Yep, all day. I'd take
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody right. Yeah. Well, personally, I think the days of your flair players, like the likes of Hoddle, Gaza, Ginola, you don't see them anymore. And I honestly think it's the way that football's sort of coached, taught, whatever these days. Like, if you're in a certain position, you're taught to do this, do that. If you're a midfielder, you're not taught to think for yourself and be creative and flair and all that. You just said, you got to do this, this, and this.
So do you think it's more system-led these days, Mark?
Yeah,
it's more
definitely.
System rather than star quality, off your seat sort of thing, systems.
But that's what I personally think. I'm probably completely wrong, but it's like you do not see the players like a Ginola, a Glenn Hoddle, a Gaza that would grab the game by the scruff of the neck and get everyone off their feet. You don't see players like that anymore. Very rarely, because it's all.
You have to look at our team. The way we're playing now, and we've got Brennan Johnson, who of course we all love. And listen, so many fans are like, "Yeah, he's not for me. It's not for me. He doesn't take on a player." But if you look at his stats, his goals and assists, he gets numbers up every season.
Yeah.
So what do we want as fans?
Yeah. Well, it's like I said that. Like, now I've been one of Brennan Johnson's biggest defenders, right? Because Brennan Johnson is not a winger. He never was and never will be a winger. He was an inside forward when he played for Forest. He was like the second striker. He was never a winger.
Matty's reeling them off in the chat. So he's putting on there all the most exciting plays in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say this man here, Matty K, he's only 15 years old and he's got an immense football knowledge. Immense.
Yeah. Get over to Matty K, subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Put your link in the chat,
of course.
Make sure you do, everyone, as well, please, because Matty's on the ball. Trust us, he's on the ball.
He definitely is. So look at the list he's sent now. Will you take all of those players he's put?
All of them.
Yeah. Oh, Christ, yeah.
So we're saying there is a lack of it, but when you kind of break it down like that, there is some talent in the league.
Yeah.
Definitely some talent, and there's many players we would take which would improve our team massively.
Yeah. The scouting's crap, Dan, at the end of the day. The scouting's rubbish. You can't tell me that there's not players out there that scouts are thinking, hang on a minute, sure, I know this kid can do a job for us, or I know whoever it is, whether they're a kid or 25, whatever they are, and he's 25 million quid. Do you know what I mean? We've
Yeah,
already been told we're not buying top line players. We got told that a long time ago.
well, they're doing this data-led approach, isn't it? Looking at
Yeah.
the stats and the scouting. What is going on with the scouting anymore? It's a mess. We're trying to be like Brighton and Brentford, but we got a bigger budget than them.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that we are trying to be, we're trying to do what Brighton do, finding people for a couple of million euros and then sell them for like 80 million or 70. It was normally when Chelsea go to Brighton, and you know, Brighton sort of have them for a couple of years, and then Chelsea come in and steal the best ones or buy the best ones.
You can flip this though, can't we? We can flip this because we can look at our recruitment since Ange has come in. Yes, I think the first window he had was okay. The second window wasn't good enough in regards to kind of experience, ready now players. But if you think about it, how the team has digressed under Ange, a lot of these players have. You know, you're thinking if you had a proper coach there, that some of these, not all of them, but some of them may have improved and look better than what we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like it's like I said, like this was my argument in the summer when we brought in the likes of Archie Gray, Bergvall, and all that. Yes, they're probably brilliant players, or they will turn out to be brilliant players. But I wanted the experience to come in alongside them. It's all right having this youth project, but what about now?
But didn't you say this, Mark? All of us here.
Yeah.
It was a red flag, weren't it? Before the season, you know, when the window was about to close, and we were all thinking we ain't done enough.
No,
we ain't done enough. And look what's happened this season. And the young players, you can't blame them, really.
No,
I'm not blaming them at all.
The biggest red flag for me is when they got rid of David Pleat, one of the finest eyes on the field coaches around.
So give us some names, Mark. Who did he bring in that worked out at Spurs? David Pleat. Yeah, who did he bring in?
Oh God, you put me in a place now. I honestly don't know without googling it.
Who did he bring in? And you think, cool, that was a great. Yeah, he's Ali, wasn't it? Dele Alli he found, didn't he?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, there we go. And look how he went off the boil at the end. But Dele Alli was
£5 million.
5 mil from Milton Keynes.
Is there any more, Mark? If you can remember now, my mind's gone now. I'd have to have a look.
No, I'll have to. We'll have to come back to this. I think,
Mark, you need to do a bit of research on that, and then maybe the next stream you can come back with.
No. The iPhone's here.
Go on, go. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure he has brought in talented players from the lower leagues.
If you carry on for a minute, I'll just type slowly like I normally do.
Did he get Graham Roberts in, Mark?
He probably did.
Well, give me a chance.
Graham Roberts was. I know. Graham Roberts came from Weymouth.
I know he did, mate.
At the time, he was 40 grand.
I think Pleat was at Luton then, wasn't he?
I don't know. He could have been.
David Pleat was our manager. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was a few times. Yeah, interim manager.
Yeah,
he was like the 80s and 90s Ryan Mason.
He did a lot of scouting as well, though, Nige, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did a lot of scouting.
He does, and again, that's what I say with the eyes. You know, you see
there we go
with your eyes, don't you? I don't
need
stats.
Now, this is the first thing I brought. Look, this is it. I got 3 names here: Dele Alli, Jan Vertonghen.
Okay,
not bad.
So
good.
Not bad. No,
yeah,
and
good.
Ben Davis. But that's
bad.
Is that all you could find? Is that all that's coming up?
Look, that was the first thing that was on there, mate.
All right.
Just give me a minute.
Sorry,
I'm not even sure I typed the right thing.
I'm giving you a hard time here. I'm sorry, mate. It weren't supposed to.
I'm not even sure I typed the right thing in my phone.
I've got my pen here. I'm writing down. Make sure to research David Pleat's buys for the next show.
Yeah, I think so, Mark. I think that's a good one to look back at because it's interesting to know, isn't it? And it's back to that question of having scouts and you know getting good talent across the world or wherever.
Listen, your eyes don't lie, Dan.
No.
Yeah, it's both, isn't it? It's both data, stats, and the eye. You can't just go and buy a player just on stats.
No,
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think it's much more.
Well, if you do, if you do, you get Brendan Johnson.
Yeah.
Look at Audio Artisans put in.
Yeah.
Look, this is a Jonathan Blondell, isn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't make it, did he?
No.
He was very highly rated though, wasn't he? But never quite made the grade.
Oh,
No.
there we go. Matty's faster on a phone or a
Did he
computer.
though? Did he bring in Son? Was that him, or was
I
that
don't
the
know.
other director who was in charge
know.
then? And we need to check that one out, Matty. Find out if it was Pleat or one of the other football directors.
It's such a shame now that the talent pool that comes through, we're trying to bring the youngsters through, but they don't really.
No.
You know, back in the day, I can go back. We used to buy players, but we always had someone that was coming through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know, we'd talk about players like Oddle that come through the system. I mean, what a wonderful player to have come through your system and be what he was. Do you know what I mean?
I believe we bought, was it Hayes we bought him from as a kid? He come from Hayes or he lived in Hayes.
Yeah, I know he lived in Harlow.
Yeah, well, we bought him from Hayes, is that team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got him from there, I think, when he was a kid.
Right. But what a player to come through, do you know what I mean? It's
Steve Perryman as well.
Yeah.
He was at the clubs when he was a kid.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
So if you look at it in the recent years, there ain't been many who's come through that's actually done well. Obviously, Kane, Ledley King, anyone else. No one's really... Look, some players have done okay. Winks, he was playing in the Champions League final, but he was never going to be top. He was just a squad player.
Soulless as well. I'll say soulless because he is soulless.
Yeah.
So there weren't that many, So it's the combination, isn't it? So it's trying to bring through these, because everybody says we've got a fantastic young players. Yeah, we hear it every week. Everyone's banging on about this. We got this one, that one, Divine, Moore. There's so many, and then so it's that, and then obviously we're recruiting younger players as well. There's only so many positions for these players, and then you have to have experience. So it's a juggling act, isn't it? It's a massive task, isn't it? Which we failed miserably over the years on getting that combination right.
Not so much this season because I think they're struggling because most of the that were in the youth teams are now in the first team. But the youth team done the cup double, didn't they? Last year?
Yeah, last year.
They won the under-17s and the under-21s.
That's true, but Mark, Ange is saying I'm playing 18-year-olds, I'm playing 17-year-olds. He was giving all these, well, what can I do? But he, in the summer, said, these players are going to come in. Bergvall, Gray, they're going to play a part of the first team. So how can he be saying it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't add up to me, They're either part of the first teamers or they're potential,
Yeah.
When everyone's fit, do you think Gray plays in midfield?
No.
Of course he don't.
He should have a chance now because our midfield has been so inconsistent.
Yeah.
I would throw him in there to see if he can do better than what we have. Basuma.
Basically, our midfield has been non-existent. It's been like having 3 holograms in the middle.
Well, it's got worse.
It's a bit like the
more the season's gone on, it's got worse.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season, would you, if you were manager of Spurs, would you play the youngsters now in the Premier League? Because effectively, we're not going down. We're probably not going to go up a lot further. And then would you play your strongest side, the best possible side in Europa League? So would you almost just give the youngsters some experience in the Premier League? Obviously, you have to play a few experienced players with them, but then just go all out for the Europa League.
Do you know what, though, Nige? I think some of those young players are better than the first team, as I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing at the moment. So, the first team players have been such a letdown this season. But then again, it all goes back to Ange and his system and the loss of confidence in players. This is why I want to see a decent coach get hold of this group of players, the young players, the first team players, add a couple in, their own choice, And then I want to really see what this team's like. Look, we're not perfect. I say this, we're not. But we've got enough there to put a cohesive side together and be harder to beat, have something to get behind. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Does he know his best team now? Or is he just like...
But he does, Mark, because he wasn't resting players, was he? He wasn't resting players, Mark, was he?
No, but, you're talking about him playing his best team in the Europa, and I get that because that's the only thing that we could win this season. So surely he has to apply what he thinks is his best team. But then I agree with you on the fact of the youngsters have been showing the senior players up just by their application.
Trying harder, just working harder.
Yeah.
Like Mark said, we all know the midfield is a shambles. An absolute shambles.
Holograms.
And when you've got them two pushing up as well, the two fullbacks, wing backs, whatever you want to call them, if one of them or both of them are too high up the pitch, with the midfield being knackered, they're just running straight through us.
But Mark, this is an interesting point now. And if we look at the injuries we've had in this season, they've been at the back and they've been in the forward line. Our midfield, Bentancur got a head injury. There's a couple of suspensions in there, but that midfield, they're not been injured for long, long periods.
It's been pretty solid all year, hasn't it?
They have had injuries, don't get me wrong, niggles and a couple of matches, but that's, if you look at it, the midfield's been performing so poorly and it's been pretty much the same midfield for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you let that sink in for a minute, what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that he doesn't rotate. If we play
in the
midfield
sort of thing. We haven't had the injuries, but the midfield's looking really poor.
Yeah. Well, it tells it for me that it's his tactics and how he's playing them. Because when you watch, like Mark and Nigel said earlier, we've all seen the pictures, of the gaping holes everywhere. We've all seen the big donut in the middle of the park. Against Villa the other day, every time in transition, they were just pouring forward onto our defence. There was no midfield there at all. So it's almost like he's playing them so far up the park that when the transition does take place and the other team do get the ball, we're just getting hammered. Hammered. And in a way, I feel sorry for the defence, mate. Them two that are sitting there, whoever it is, because they've got such a job on their hands. And we've all discussed it.
But then it goes back to the question of the DM, isn't it? We haven't got.
You don't play with one.
No, we don't have one. We don't have one. Now, Gray is supposed to be one, but we don't know because he's young, yeah? It's not fair. But we haven't got an all-and-out defensive midfielder.
Well, the closest you've got is Bentancur, isn't it?
But he's not. He's more of a back, up and down, isn't he? He's an up and down. He's.
But he can play there, Dan. He done it for Juventus.
Yeah, he can. But he struggled, doesn't he? But again, it all goes back to Ange and his system, isn't it? Everything goes back to it. Always goes back to Ange.
Yeah,
and it always will whilst he's here. And to be honest, he is the most protected manager I've ever known at Tottenham. Because let's face it, right? Anybody else would have been out ages ago. The time we want.
You don't have any sympathy, Mark, on him with the injuries, then? No sympathy at all.
Well, he's caused most of them by not rotating the team. You know what I mean? I mean, you only got to look at like Mickey and Romero. He chucked them both in at the same time against Chelsea when he was under pressure, and there was mumblings he was going to get fired.
No, he's too scared to bring him back now, isn't he? He's like complete gone the other way.
Well, to be honest, I think both of, especially Romero. I think he's pulling a fast one. He's saying, me leg and whatever, But I bet you, I think the international breaks like end of March.
Mark, I knew that was coming.
International breaks the end of March. I bet he gets on the plane and goes to Argentina. There's no doubts in the fact that he'll be on that plane to Argentina.
He'll be first one on the plane.
Oh Christ, yeah.
He'll be running at that.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
He'll be getting away from Ange.
I'll be honest, he's probably ordered his taxi to Heathrow already, or Stansted, wherever they fly from. You know what I mean? He's probably the Uber or his cab or whatever's he probably had it booked in like January.
I don't think he's injured. I don't think he plays for Spurs again this season.
No.
I don't think we'll see him
I think
again.
he will. I think we will. Andrew was telling him he's coming back soon.
Really?
They'll be back.
We'll see.
We'll see. It won't be before the international break.
I think Romero's checked out. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, and I don't blame him. I think who wants to plan to this foolish system?
To be honest, right? You could have the two. Just name any two centre backs, the best you've ever seen. Rio Ferdinand and someone else, John Terry or whatever. You know, the two best fullbacks. I know I didn't want to say that, but the two best fullbacks you've ever seen. You could put both of them in the team, and they wouldn't enjoy it. Defenders pride themselves on keeping clean sheets. I can't remember the last time we kept a clean sheet.
Where's the last game you've actually enjoyed? I mean, I know we got that fantastic win against Man City. That aside, when's the actual game we thought we played well 90 minutes?
Come on, Mark.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, but he only had one knee. Yeah, he's just put the next comment. Yeah.
We don't play well for 90 minutes. We haven't for years.
No.
We have 10 minute spells. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we played well for 90 minutes. I really can't.
I mean you have to say we played well. Beating Man City 4-0 away. That's a pretty good performance, isn't it? Yeah. Compared to the opposition. You know, even though we didn't dominate the ball, but we just got them, didn't we, on the counter?
Yeah. But that is when we look at our best, is when we play on the counter attack.
And this is what I want from this team now. That's why I want a coach. I want a coach to come in, train these players to his philosophy, whatever that might be, 3-5-2, 4-2-3. I don't give a shit what it is, right? But get them playing in a system that they're all comfortable in. Then you might see something different. You might see a different Spurs. I'm not saying that solves all the problems, but at least if you get a coach in that knows what he's doing and sticks to a philosophy that the players like, then the fans are happier then as well.
Yeah. To be honest,
better results.
I'll be honest, right? I don't care if we stunk the place out and won 1-0 every week. Winning football is winning football. And we're just not seeing that at the moment.
Do you want the season to end, Mark? Everybody on the panel. Do you all want the season to end? You've had enough.
Oh, God, yeah.
Would you, if you could fast forward the season now, you know, what's that film? Is it Click when he has Adam Sandler? He has a remote control, and he can fast forward. Would you do that now just to get it done? See what happens in the summer. Hopefully, Angie's gone, and then we can go again.
Yeah. And to be honest, the sun would be out. It'd still be light outside. It'd be lovely.
That's a great reason as well.
Insiders.
Well, I'm not, no.
I'd fast forward if I knew that Ange weren't going to be here next season. Because I think that if he's here at the start of next season,
we're in trouble.
We're in trouble, mate. We're in trouble, big trouble. I'll tell you that.
The thing is, if he wins that Europa League, you know he's staying.
He ain't winning it, Dan. We ain't winning.
No, but if he does.
I want Tottenham to win the Europa League. I'm a Tottenham fan. Right? It's here.
All right.
Same as all of us.
Put it like this. We get our team back. We've got his first starting lineup. We've got subs to come on and change the game when they're tired and we need to do something. We've got that Dan So now. We've signed Towell. We've got Mikey Moore coming on. Bergvall, Gray. They've all had a lot of games this season. They should be used to Ange's system. They played it enough. Look, there's no excuse for Ange. Yeah, he's got his players back. He's got to win that Europa League. And I think that team is good enough, but I just don't think his tactics are good enough. But you never know. Cup games, just like this show on the other night, Nigel, it's like, you never know, do you? You never know. There's always a chance.
Well, you just said, they're used to his system. I'm not sure we've even got a system. It's just like
Okay,
complete
what I mean,
madness.
Mark, because another excuse Andrew's got is that the players are not playing the system because they're exhausted. He was going Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. We heard him the other day. Yeah, it went on and on, didn't it? His press conference last weekend. It was it was just went on forever.
No,
Yeah,
but
I watched, just not having it, because he could have, like I say, I don't get all that. You know, I can't rest players. Regulon, play him, then play Spence at right back. Porro can have a rest. You know, put Gray in a number 6, and then Bentancur or Basuma or Sarr or whoever can have a rest. He's got options, not many, admittedly, but he has got options. And it's like we've already said, when he's got his best 11 back, he will play them and he will run them into the ground. I guarantee if over the next 3 or 4 weeks, if he gets 5 or 6 players back who are guaranteed, like in his first team, he will play them regardless every single week until they get injured. And then Gray will come back in or Spence will come back in.
The thing is, but the thing is with it,
he may have learnt though as well. He might have learnt from what's happened. There was
the thing
always
is with it though.
chance.
Yeah, the thing is with it though, when we do get a full team, we will be back to playing Thursday, Sunday again. We'll answer that in a minute. The thing is, when we do go to, like, when we get our team back and we're playing Thursday, Sunday again, you don't rest none of them.
No.
You know, you don't rest none of them, and then they get injured, and it seems that it's like a constant recycling machine, isn't it? Like, some come back, and then a couple others go off injured. You know, and so I don't believe whilst he's here, we're ever going to get fully fit, like all 23, 25, whatever it is.
You're never going to get everyone, but he should in the next couple of weeks with less games. It's not 2 games a week. Everybody should be getting back, well, most.
Yeah.
So we will have a lot of choice, of selection in resting players, and when the game's not going well or you need to freshen it up, he's going to have substitutes to come on and hopefully make a difference. So there's the excuses of Ange, which has gone on for most of the season. It's going to run out. We're going to see in the next few weeks what this team's looking like, energy-wise, performance-wise. Ange's, what he's doing with this team. We're going to see, and we're going to be talking about it, and we're really going to be looking at this because there's no.
Does anyone think that over the next few weeks, with, if you like, the better players back or more senior players back in the team, after what we saw last season, when players were fit after the first 10 games? And it was started going downhill after that for the rest of last season. You know that by our performances. Then it's carried on this season. So do you think when he's got all his players back, or like Dan said, a chunk of them, is anything going to change? Because to me, it doesn't matter who's on the pitch. He's already shown, Dan, that it doesn't work.
Okay, so let's 2 things there. So let's rewind it back to last season when we did get the players back after they were out.
Yeah,
we were still getting ripped apart.
Yes,
weren't we? Yeah, we were struggling. The consistency was there, right? We could have even with a picking up 1 win, we could have made 4th. Man, it was that crazy.
Yeah.
But he would not change. He wouldn't adapt. He went gung ho every game, and we got found out so many times. Okay, so now let's look at this season. We at the beginning of the season, when we had most of our players ready, we only managed to win 2 games in a row. I think it was Manchester United and Brentford we beat in a row. But after that, it was win 1, lose 1. We're Mr. Inconsistent.
We're a start for like 70 years or so.
Yeah, and that was with the majority of the players, right?
Yeah.
Let's remind everybody here. A lot of people have forgotten that and are only looking at this period of injuries we've had since. When did the injuries really start kicking in? Was it like December?
November, December.
December, wasn't it?
And then it got worse and worse, didn't it? In January, everybody was out. So it's a good point, Mark. What is going to be the difference this season to last? And he's signed more players, On
the pitch, apart from a couple of games where he sat the wing backs back and hasn't, the full backs and hasn't pushed them on as much, it's pretty much been the same, hasn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
He hasn't shown really that he can put a team on a field that plays differently to what he does every week.
No, you're absolutely bang on, Mark. And the
Can we
difference
just
is now, when we had before the injuries, we, like Dan said, winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. Since the injuries, it has been losing one, losing one, losing one, losing one, losing one, winning one. When we get the injuries back, it will be back to winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. So it's nothing's really going to change. We will win a few more games.
That's not good enough.
But we'll still lose games.
You're right, Nigel. It's not good enough.
Can we just answer Matty's question quickly? Are any of you going to be at the protest? I'm not, because I can't get there and back.
I'm not at this one. Personal reasons I can't get there, but I'll be hopefully getting. Well, I'll be doing my own protest anyway. I've got
Matty, just to let you know, my son's coming from Crewe, and he's going to meet up with you lot. So I'll be in touch with you to get a phone number off you or something. So when he gets down to the ground or whatever, he can give you a tinkle and meet up with you. He's definitely told me he's doing that. So he's coming on my behalf as well, because I can't get there, Matty. But my son Aaron is coming.
Fair play to him.
That says great.
Oh, yeah. Happy days.
So, Dan, do you want to speak about Robbie Keane? Let's speak about Robbie Keane.
Okay. So I want to talk about a game, I'll remind you all, back in the 5th of March, 2006. Okay.
I don't remember yesterday, mind.
You must remember this game. Under Martin Yole was in charge. I'll run through the lineups. Let me run through the lineups. It might trigger some memories. So we had Robertson in goal, Stalteri, Dawson, King, Lee, Genus, Carrick, Davids. Remember Tainio?
Yeah.
Nino and Keane. Yeah. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Keane. And we only had 3 subs that day. Kearney, Defoe and Davenport. No, we did. We had Murphy and Lennon as well.
Not bad subs bench.
Right. So this game, we played against Blackburn, Mark Hughes' Blackburn side.
Okay.
Yeah. They had Friedel in goal. Neil, Todd, Nelson, Gray, Emerson, Reed, Savage, Bentley, Bentley, and Pong. I can't even pronounce it. Pongloli, Cinnamang Pongloli, or something like that.
Okay.
Right. Do you remember this match, guys?
Was it the bloke who played for Liverpool as well, Dan?
Cinema. I can't remember, man. I can't remember.
3 exposed players in there as well.
Howard Webb was the referee. Now, can any of you recall this game?
Yes, Keane scored an absolute blinding goal. Probably the best goal I've ever seen Keane score.
Yeah. This
is a goal that gets you off your seat.
Exactly. Yeah. So this game I remember. Yeah. This game that got me off my seat. It was a cracking match. Cracking game it was. We went 2-0 up. 2 goals from Robbie Keane, and that first one, it was on the byline, wasn't it? You know, and he done this. Yeah, it was a throw-in, and he kind of done this little chip round one player, dummied the next player, and he put it in. A fantastic goal. Then we scored again. You remember it? Yeah, we may come back to you once I'm talking through the game. And they had, Bellamy. He was whatever you thought of him as a person, he was a player. What caused you problems, didn't he? He had that, fight in him and passion, and he was always a problem when you come up against him. So we went 2 up, and they got 2 goals back. And it was a cracking match. We were under a lot of pressure, but we got a goal late on by Mido. Yeah, Aaron Lennon came on for Davids, put a ball across the box, and Mido smashed it in. It was crazy. And that win moved Spurs at that point 5 points clear of 5th place Arsenal and 6 ahead of Blackburn, who were chasing the European places. So, just a wonderful game. Great memories from that game. There's many. And when we do this show again, we can obviously bring up other games and whatever, discuss them. Anybody want to say anything or memories of that match? I mean, Nigel, you remembered that goal.
I remember the goal. I think it was a lunchtime kickoff. If I may be wrong, but I can remember watching it. And that goal from Robbie Keane was something else. I absolutely loved Robbie Keane. I loved him at Leeds, and when we signed him, I was absolutely delighted. I think he was like brought out in front of the crowd at like New Year's Day or something. I might be wrong there, but I can remember being shown to the crowd and me thinking, we have got an absolute baller. I loved Robbie Keane. He was a player that got you off your seat. Some of the goals he scored, yeah, obviously he ruined it slightly by going to Liverpool, but he did come back. Like, how it was like
A
less
year
than
later.
he come back.
A year, well,
year
yeah, it
later.
might have been less than a year, but I understand that because Liverpool was his boyhood club.
Yeah,
That's
right.
He didn't play for him, did he? He played a couple of games and then he was out of the team.
It didn't work out for him there, did he? And he came back.
No.
So, what a wonderful, wonderful player.
So Robbie Keane's stats, right? He played at Spurs. This was the most games he played for any club was Spurs, yeah?
Yeah.
306 appearances, 122 goals, 39 assists. I when we signed him, I was travelling, and it's such a long time ago. I was travelling in Australia, and I kind of did. There wasn't the phones with internet back then. It was a long time ago, and I was like checking in on a computer to send an email to check in back home, and I would have a little look at Spurs on the internet. And I remember when we signed him, it was what it was such a great signing. He was playing
probably dial-up as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was dial-up.
I was going to say, you check on the internet, it took like 10 minutes to load a page.
Yeah, exactly. But what a great signing back then for Spurs, Robbie Keane.
Was
really,
it like $7.5 million?
Player. Yeah, so that's it. Nigel, good memory.
Yeah,
spot on.
Yeah.
It was a great buy, and such a player that he had it all, didn't he? And I loved his celebration. Do you remember the cartwheel?
Cartwheel and the
He was a player. Played on instinct, didn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't a massive high scorer every season, but what he gave you so much, didn't he? And he had a great partnership. So he played with Mido, he played with Defoe, he played with Berbatov. Do you remember that partnership? Oh.
Crouch as well, wasn't it? Because this is back in the days. This is back in the days when we used to have
Pavlyuchenko.
We had a plethora of strikers at Spurs. You know, Defoe was there. Berbatov was there.
Did he play with Teddy for a year as well?
Possibly.
Yeah.
In the early days,
Yeah. You know, I mean, and then we became a Harry Kane team. We just had Harry Kane and nobody else. But like only a few years before that, we had loads. You know, I remember
4 strikers, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had 4 strikers. Crouch, Defoe, Robbie Keane, and there was another one.
Darren Bent.
Yeah, Darren Bent, Crouch. You know,
I love Pavlyuchenko.
Audio Artisan, another one as well. Look, Keane and Canute.
Yeah.
Canute was something else.
He scored that
Canute.
Crazy goal. Crazy goal he scored at home. I can't remember who was it against. That was a volley, weren't it? It was a fantastic goal. Was it against West Ham?
One of my shorts. Maybe Aston Villa. I don't know, but no, he was again player like maverick. I call him a maverick player that just do something out of the blue that you don't expect.
He didn't do fantastic at Spurs. I know that he did score the good goal.
He had a lot of injuries as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. Was it the 4-4 game in the 125th celebrations against? No. Or was it the goal against the 4-4 against Chelsea, where it comes off one of their defenders' backs and he curls it in the top corner from the left hand? That was Robbie Keane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it. Yeah, unbelievable. It hits one. Well, the Chelsea defender, for some unknown reason, turns his back. It bounces off like his shoulder blade. Falls to Robbie Keane. Bang. Straight in the top right-hand corner from the left-hand side. Fantastic.
And in them days, we weren't really in Europe, where we would think we might have got there once under George Graham. Knocked out against some German team, and I can't remember what round it was.
I think we only qualified for that because we won the League Cup in '99.
That's right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So we were challenging for European places under the old. And as I'm obviously younger than you guys on here. I hadn't at that stage seen us in Europe a lot, so it was exciting times. Yeah. I was young. I was trying to get into the UEFA Cup or whatever it was. And look, it was exciting, wasn't it? Martin Jol, if you think back of his management, he put a good team together, didn't he? He got the job by chance, didn't he? Because he was wasn't he like assistant coach to what's his name?
Somebody
Prince manager. Who?
Santini, wasn't it?
Santini, yeah. So we got the job by chance. And yeah, he was such a great. We could talk about Martin Yole. Why not? That team. We were a good team. We went to Highbury, didn't we? And got a draw. Davids playing in Keane and got that goal. That was some great performances, and really. And then we missed out, didn't we, on the Champions League due to Lasagna Gate.
Lasagna Gate.
Arsene Wenger and the chef's hat. You remember that?
Who would have thought though that? Who would have thought back then that someone like Edgar Davids would play for us? I remember playing FIFA, and he was like the face of FIFA that year.
He was a good player. Yes, he was at the end of his career, but what he came in, he had a fight with Robbie Keane, didn't he? They had a punch up in that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was all going on. He really he shook things up when he came into that team, and he helped him because we had the winner. We had Carrick in the team, young. I think Davids was playing like left wing, but it didn't matter because he had the quality, the technical ability, the experience to play wherever and make a difference. He was good. He was, weren't he, for Spurs under Martin Yole?
Yeah, he had that bite to him, didn't he, as well, Dan?
He did.
You know what I mean? He weren't afraid of getting stuck in either, was he?
He was a Champions League winner, wasn't he?
That's what we miss. We miss it so much. We haven't got anyone on the pitch that can either say, look, lads, calm down, we'll be all right. Or at the same time, when the time's right to get stuck in, do you know what I mean? We just don't see it. We don't see it.
It was a great signing. Really frustrates me. And it really helped us qualify for Europe, didn't it, under Yole? It really helped us with some of the young players there. We had Dawson, King, Carrick, as I said. Who else did I say we had in that team?
Andy Reid. Was he playing? He must have been, 'cause he come with Dawson.
Andy Reid. We had Danny Murphy, didn't we?
Danny Murphy.
Genius was in the team as well. I mean,
Genius,
with him, Genius, he was anything good about him. He always scored against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah, he was so frustrating though. Genius, I like Genius, but it was
to this day, I still love Martin Yole. There's only a few managers, the three managers really, in the last in the last 25, 30 years that have really excited me was Martin Yole, Harry Redknapp, and Pochettino.
Pochettino. So, okay, I know it's a stupid question, Mark, but I am hearing rumours that Pochettino would dump USA to come back. Would you take him? Even if Levy was still there? Because I know people say, I don't want Pochettino back if Levy's out. I'd take Pochettino back. I don't care who's in charge.
Now, you're asking me this.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me, I would just think about this for a minute.
Pochettino.
I just had to quickly do that. No, Jesus Christ, man. No, he's the one man, right, that I can remember going over the pub without anyone taking the piss, without anyone all right, there was still the thing about you don't win nothing, blah 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 blah. But all the normal piss taking that I used to get when I used to go in the pub, about being a Spurs fan, it just ceased. He's one of the only managers.
Fans as well.
Sorry?
Said he would unite the fans as well.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Well, to be honest, as much as I don't want it, because I want Levy out, whether we're going to get Levy out is another different.
But Mark, if you look at Pochettino, right, he was the best manager I can remember managing Spurs for me.
He isn't for me.
Where he got us challenging for the league twice. I know we fell short and we got Champions League final. We went at home one season. We didn't get beaten. One season we only conceded 15, 16 goals the whole season. In my lifetime, he did the best.
Yeah, well, Obviously, I wasn't alive, but for me, Bill Nick's the best manager that'll ever, for what he did.
I'm just talking about, what we've seen as being a Spurs fan, in the past, whatever years.
I would go back to Keith Birkinshaw as well, because even though in his first season they got relegated with his Terry Neal team from the year before, he brought us back up. Cups, we won cups. We was challenging. There was a buzz around Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? We had fantastic players, on the way up, and we had seasoned professionals as well. And I've said on this on streams before, I was so lucky, so lucky to be a kid and watch Ozzy Ardiles, flicking it up over his head during games. Ricky Villa scoring at Wembley to win us the cup, after the week before or on the weekend being pulled off, just different gear. I don't get that.
Give us our club back. You know this, Mark. When you talk like this, right? Give us our club back. Yeah, this is what I mean, right? We're a massive club. Yeah, we've a fantastic history, and we've been sold short, haven't we? Let's be honest here. Look, when you think back and when you talk like that, Mark, about that, and I didn't see that era. The best, as I said, was under Pochettino. Redknapp was great, Joel was great, but I mean, to get us closest to winning anything, it was Pochettino. And he did a fantastic job. And it's just, again, the board didn't back him.
I agree with you.
Remember when Pochettino, he turned around and said, like, what players could I get? What better than what I had in that team. And because Levy wouldn't spend that next level up to improve that lineup, Pochettino turned around and said, well, don't bother signing anyone. And I think that, do you remember this, guys?
Yeah.
There's a bit of that as well.
The only thing I'll say about Pochettino is that, yes, we had a fantastic first 11, and we did. We probably had the best first 11 in the league. But if any of them was, for that couple of years, the year Leicester won it and the year after when Chelsea won it, right? We were in the Champions League both of those times, both of those seasons. And we just never had the squad depth to cope with the Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, whatever game, the Champions League and the league. But if the chairman had put his hand in his pocket, because the transfers weren't mad like they are now, if he'd have given him 70 mil. So I know that's a vast amount of money, but just give him, like, we all talk about like a slope. I got it behind my sofa, but you know what I mean? Like, we all talk like that, but if he'd have given him 70 mil, that would have got him 3, not top players, but sort of.
But he needed that though, Mark.
He said
he needed that next level up because that team was functioning so well. It was playing so well. It was hard to find a player that could improve it. But there were players out there, but it was that next level, wasn't it?
The trouble was we didn't need real improvements on the first team because the first team was fantastic.
It was the squad. Yeah?
Yeah, it was the squad. And so if Levy had given him 60 million, 320 million pound players, right, that he could have gone in and they could have sat on the bench, filled in when needed, I'm quite convinced that we would have. Is it 2016 Leicester, 2017 Chelsea? Right, I'm convinced that we would have won. We would have won both of those leagues.
But we fell short of the squad. That was
it was the squad
because who did we bring in? Ninjai? Who was the other?
We had the likes of bloody Eric Dyer and bloody Harry Winks and that sitting about on. That's when it was a big drop. It was a big drop when Dele Alli was missing, or or Jan Vertonghen was missing, and we put bloody Eric Dyer or something in there.
They signed Janssen, didn't they? And he didn't.
Yeah.
Make it.
No,
as another striker.
No, it was a massive drop. Because back then as well, Harry used to roll his ankle once a year.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But back then as well. Harry always had the yearly ankle injury where he used to roll his ankle and he'd be out for like.
Don't you think we were so close, weren't we?
Oh, we were. We were.
And I look back and I think, what?
And do you know from the day Poch was sacked, after I'd seen what the club had done to him, you've got to remember as well, when Poch was here, was the 518 days without signing anybody.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, Mark.
Yeah.
Was it that
Then,
they didn't spend the money because of the stadium, or was it because Poch said, "Well, unless you're going to get me this top player who's going to match what I've got or better"?
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Look,
Yeah,
Poch wanted stamp. Whatever that
very good comment.
And
it's
he
very
got
true.
stamped.
Very true.
Yeah, exactly.
Stambouli, what did he do? Nothing.
No. And it was back in. I'm pretty certain it was back in them days that we were linked with all sorts of top players, and like. Do you
remember the famous one? Remember the famous one we were linked under Pochettino?
Is that Sane or Mane? It was one
Mane,
of them, wasn't it?
We're linked to Mane, because he played under him at Southampton, I think.
Yeah.
When Pochettino and Morgan Snigerlin as well.
Yeah.
Pochettino had him at Southampton.
Yeah.
But there we go. And it's always been the same with this ownership. Like, we could have won 2 league titles. We could have done it. I genuinely believe that if he'd have just because we were riding on the crest of a wave at that stage. I mean, everyone in the whole country could see that we had the best starting 11. You had Jan and Toby and Kyle and Danny Rose. You had Dele Alli, Ericsson, Son and Kane, and we had Dembele and that. What a player Dembele was. God, could we do with him now sat in that number 6 role?
Yeah, but again, it's Pochettino. We got the best out of him, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He got the best player. He was fantastic. He was running midfields for us. He was. He did have his injury problems at times as well.
Of course he did. But this is my point. When the first 11, we had Lloris as well, prime Lloris, not the last few years that everyone remembers of Lloris when he was on his way down. We had prime Lloris. That team was fantastic, but Daniel Levy because we were getting Champions League and we were at the old lane then, and Champions League money was important coming into the club. Daniel thought, I've done my bet now. We're competitive. We're getting 50 million in the door every season for the Champions League money. That's enough.
Then he thought he'd get away with it, didn't he? And he sacked Poch. He brought in Mourinho, and he thought, Mourinho would get this team. But at that point, that team had got to the end of its cycle and needed refreshing. So it was just,
He was trying to squeeze the last bit of juice out of whatever he could.
Yeah. I'll be honest, the day that Pochettino was sacked is the day I became Levy out. Because I didn't care about Levy because Tottenham were doing so well. But when he sacked him, and I think, you haven't refreshed the team. And when I look back, I think 2016 we should have won that league. 2017 we should have won that league.
I've got a question for all of you, yeah? So when we think back at Poch now, yeah, because there was some people who just thought he could never get us over the line. Is that fair?
No.
No.
1,000,000%.
I don't think it is. No. Just for the reason, like Mark said earlier, that when we needed it, he couldn't get the players in. Whether that's Levy, whether that's Pochettino, whoever.
Well, he's talking about new furniture, weren't he, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, we needed at that time when we was in the hunt for the leagues and the Champions League, we needed 2 or 3 innings. To go 18 months without getting players in is, when we was in the position we was in, I think is an absolute travesty, because I think that was our time.
Yeah.
That was our time.
Poch was unlucky that he fell into the circumstances that the planning for the new ground was there. We were starting to knock down the old ground because the corner vanished in it. When they
still
were building.
got results. Even playing at Wembley, we were still getting results.
No.
Still challenged, and we still got the Champions League spot. Even
what
with
I'm saying is
chaos.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, though, that Poch was unfortunate that the plans had already been made to build the new ground, and so every bit of money at the club was getting ploughed into the new ground. And it was. This is when I started to notice that Enoch and Levy, all they're interested in is off-field activities. They're not interested in what goes on the pitch. And the day that Pochettino was sacked is the day I became Levy out. Because I could see what he'd done to him.
But Mark, if you think about this, okay, that happened. I get that, why you felt like that. But then you saw the club building this new stadium. They told us they were building this stadium. They could compete with the top Premier League teams, spend the money, top clubs in Europe. So at that stage, you think, well, the club are trying to do better.
Yes.
And that they're looking at a way of financially bringing in players through a bigger stadium, bigger event, revenue going to
I agreed with it. I agreed with it.
But were you actually Levy out, or were you thinking, well, at least the club are trying to do something at that stage, or were you just completely Levy out?
I became Levy out because he sacked probably, apart from Birkinshaw, my favourite manager that had ever been there. Because obviously I remember Birkinshaw, and when I was growing up, age 10, 11 and 13, we'd won trophies.
Yeah.
And that was all under Keith. That was all under the General.
But Pochettino, he didn't win a trophy, did he? He didn't really put a lot into those domestic cups, did he? Do you remember what he used to say? He goes, the two most important things for him was the Champions League and the Premier League. Yeah.
But that's only what he was
only one small little thing you can say. Well, it's not small, because it is all about results at the end of the day. And Pochettino, he had that fantastic team and didn't get over the line in any of those cup competitions.
But to be honest, when you got Mr. Levy breathing down your neck saying you better get the top four, or else you're up the road, because at the time, see, this is why I believe that Ange hasn't been sacked yet, because the Champions League revenue and that we could get with allegedly should get with a decent manager, that doesn't matter anymore, because we're an entertainment complex now. We got the boxing, we got Beyonce going there, we got someone else going there that I've never heard of. We got the NFL, we got the rugby, we got bloody God knows what else goes on there. Football is it's a secondary affair now with Tottenham. We're an entertainment arena. That's all we are. We're an entertainment venue where football breaks out every other week when we're at home.
I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, I used to love White Hart Lane. But I'll be the first to admit, when we started building this new stadium, I was like, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be, we are going to be one of the best teams in the world. But actually, I would take White Hart Lane back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But that's Nige, because nothing's changed, does it? You might as well be back in that stadium. Because
even from going there though, the couple of times, 2 or 3 times that I've been there, the atmosphere it's just soulless. I can remember going to White Hart Lane, and I said it last night with Charlie. We went to a 0-0 draw at home to Everton in a season when under Potts, when I think it's the season before we went unbeaten. But we were really good, and we played Everton early doors in the season. We hit the post a couple of times. Harry Kane missed a 1-on-1. The atmosphere was electric. It's like, even though it was 0-0, when we missed a chance, it was like static in your ears when we missed a chance. You know what I mean? I haven't had that in the 3 or 4 times that I've been to.
I think you're right, Nige. I think we haven't matched that atmosphere in the new stadium. Don't get me wrong. There has been games like that one against Arsenal under Conte,
3-0.
where the atmosphere there was electric, right? But there hasn't been enough of that type of atmosphere, is it, in the new stadium?
It's always going to be for a North London derby. Whether it's the old stadium. I mean, I remember I went to the old White Hart Lane loads of times, like from the 70s onwards. Yeah. I sort of went there, and every game I went to, and I've seen some rubbish teams there, mine.
Oh yeah.
In the 90s and that, when I used to go a lot, we were a poor team. Yeah. I mean, we were a poor team, but we had players that would get you off your feet. But the atmosphere there was always electric. I mean, I went a lot the couple of years when we had Ginola.
Unless you were sitting behind that post.
Yeah, that's the East Stand post.
We all ended up in that, behind that post at some point. When there was no tickets.
Yeah. But I've been to the new ground 5 times, I think, and it just doesn't feel like the old White Hart Lane. Every time I've been sat near people that are playing bloody Candy Crush on their phone and that, And I was sat near Ellie one of the games I went to, right, and that's meant to be like the raucous area, right? There was a bloke sat next to me. He didn't even sing. Here's me, like, well, I was half drunk, where I've been in the pubs, but like, here's me, like, singing and shouting my heart out, and like the guy next to me didn't say a word the whole game. Didn't say a word. I didn't know who he was. He didn't even speak. You know, and I was thinking, you know, what's going on here?
Listen, Mark. White Hart Lane, the old White Hart Lane,
the shelf,
will never be repeated.
No.
In that stadium.
No.
CEM's put a comment in the chat. Where is it? I miss White Hart Lane. The atmosphere was amazing. Yeah. Could be really hostile too for visiting teams. My God, I've been there when it's been hostile, mate. You know, when the visiting fans were in the Park Lane, or they'd have 3/4 of the Park Lane, and then our fans would have the other quarter of the Park Lane, and then we'd be up in the shelf giving it as well. You know, really hostile times there could be there. And I don't think that can be repeated in the new stadium because they've got singing fans all over the place. You know,
that's what I used to love. That's what I used to love about White Hart Lane. You get the shelf side being like, "We're the shelf side, we're the shelf," and then you get, and it's just like brilliant. We just sing to each other, but now it's just crap.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Lucky for us, I don't know. We've got the memories. We've got the memories of the old White Hart Lane and what it was like, smelling them hot dogs walking up the road and people standing there with programs to sell. And, you know, there weren't just a few of you Miranda about outside. There was thousands of people.
You know, stand by the gate, wouldn't you, watching the cars come in, waving to the players as they come in. And,
Levy's really, he's done us over, isn't he, Levy, man? Come on, when we talk about this, he has done us over, man. Look, he's taken us away from what we were about. Yeah, that really angers me. It does. It really does, because we was, guys.
It tells you something, right? I'm sorry to butt in. It tells you something, right? When that stadium was built, and it was built with everything in mind, the acoustics, like where the roof keeps the sound in and all that. So it could be as loud as people want to make it, right? And you got the South Stand, 17,000 people in the South Stand, right? And you would have thought that's where all the hardcore Spurs fans are going to be, like most of the season ticket holders that have been going for years. They're going to sing their heart out. What does Mr. Levy do? Put a load of corporate seats right in the middle of it. 1882 club right in the middle of it, you know, just a load of corporates, you know. So the things that should have been done if it was owned by a football fan and not a business like person weren't done, you know, because it's like I said, I've sat in the South Stand 4 times. 4 times I've sat in that South Stand, and there's been people near me playing Candy Crush and looking at their phones.
Mark, and then anyone, if we do get a good team and we do start winning a lot and we'll win something, do you think the atmosphere would improve?
I think from the genuine fans, no, it's I don't want to say that nobody goes there isn't a fan. But, like, you know, the genuine hardcore fans that have been going for years and years and years, that know what Tottenham's about, sing their hearts out. You know, yes, it might do. But from what I've witnessed every time I've been to the ground, there's so many, like, holiday makers there that, you know, I mean, I don't think... It's never going to be like the old White Hart Lane, in my opinion. Never.
Mark, the old school don't go as much as they used to now. You've got to remember the prices have gone up. There's no
well, exactly.
He don't want the old ones there no
more. No, of course he doesn't.
He doesn't want us there.
No.
He don't care that we've supported our team for 50 years.
A massive con job. The whole thing, man.
No, I'm not... I got to be careful what I say, because I don't want to come across as whatever. But... like, he doesn't want people there like me that go there singing, shouting. I won't go in the club shop, you know. I won't go and empty my wallet in the club shop. He wants people there that have come in from abroad, probably the first time they've ever been to the stadium, might be the last time they ever go to the stadium. People from America, people from Asia, people from wherever.
That's fine if
That's
they're
the
Spurs
sort of
fans.
people.
If
That
they're
is
Spurs
the.
fans.
They are
That's
Spurs
fine.
fans. They are
Yeah.
Spurs fans. But Levy would sooner they go, and it's the first time they've ever been there. Oh, let's go in the club shop and buy this, and this. That's the people he wants there. You know, and that
You don't
truly
want us
is.
there, Mark.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. You know, he wants the people there that will go in the club shop and empty their wallets. Like, I got a true story for you now. I'm not sure if he's watching. I haven't seen him in the comments. Bobby K, when he come over with his kids, right? He got sorted out tickets for the North London Derby. First time he'd been to the new stadium. It was one of his kids' birthdays. How's he going to deny his son going in? You know, his son's going in the club shop and spending money in there. He's not. He's a parent. And fair play to these people that do it. But that's the people that Daniel wants there, the people that are going to go there and empty their wallets in the club shop. You know, I mean, to be honest, Nigel and Dan, when you went, did you go in the club shop?
Didn't last time, no.
No, exactly.
Can I say my bit now, if you don't
Yeah,
mind?
Yeah, go.
I've been Levy out since day one. They made a comment and they said, we've bought this stadium, whatever it is, this football club, for 22 million quid. And we're here to make money. And that told me everything about our football club. So no one should be surprised that it's turned out the way he has, because look at what your team is now and look at what the club is worth.
Yeah.
There's only one winner. And unfortunately, that winner does not want to go that extra mile to get the quality in the team. And while that is the case, we will be where we will be. We could be further up the league with these players, with a different coach. I think that this is a top 6 team. This team could be a 6th place team. Yeah. I think that's reasonable to say. But with the right coach, not with this coach. I'm sorry, he's not winning nothing, this coach. Not with his tactics, not with his system, not with the way he rotates players, not with the way he's got his finger up his arse standing on the touchline. You know,
but it all goes back to Levy, though. We can moan and complain about managers and whatever, but
yeah, it does.
Always goes back to Levy. You know, you're right, Mark. You know, I remember that point. There was an article, wasn't there, that he said that. It's been out. It's all over social media what he said. Yeah, back then. But then he thought, oh, let's bring Glenn Hoddle in. Yeah, keep the fans happy.
Yeah.
Well, and then believe you me, right, with these protests the weekend, right, that to be honest, my opinion of Levy, he has built such a monster now, because that stadium, honestly, is a license to print money. Right? I'll give you one example. You're not even allowed to spend cash in the stadium. Right? Everything is bing, 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 card, phone, you know, there's no cash in that stadium whatsoever. You go and get a beer, right? And it fills up from the bottom. Right? That's only because it does it quicker. Right? That's the only reason. And you've got to pay for it on a card to save them messing about with your change. If you give someone, say it's £5, £6, whatever it is in there, and you give them a £10 note and they got to mess about getting you £4 change in that. No, with that, it's bing on your card, off you go. Serve the next one. You know, it's a license to print money, that stadium, right? And this is exactly what he wanted.
Well, he's got what he wanted, Mark, hasn't he? But we ain't got our team on the pitch, mate, have we?
No.
And that's what we're supporters of. I don't give a toss how much money he makes. I really
don't
give a toss.
No, nor do I.
But invest it correctly. I'm not saying he hasn't invested money. I'm not saying he hasn't spent money. But he's got to find the people to invest it correctly to give us our Tottenham back on the pitch.
It's never going to happen.
For me, this is farcical what's going on. Absolutely farcical.
It angers me, man. It really angers me. You know, we've tonight we've had some great discussions around the history, of the club and what we've done, and it's just sickening, isn't it? This Levy guy, honestly, it's never going to change unless he's gone. Let's be real. I know this change. They want them to change, but we want them to sell and get some.
But he's not going to.
He wants to win on the pitch.
Well, we'll put it this way, right? When you've got the monster that he has built, right, and you've built it up from 22 million to 3 point whatever billion it's worth
They've
now.
done all right, haven't they? If they sell, they've made so much money.
No. But just 1 minute. Just
how many millions can you have?
Just let me finish my point. Like that, that it's worth 3.5 billion, whatever it is now, right? And the stadium is raking in a shit ton of money. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a shit ton of money. He's not going to sell it now, where all his plans and things have come to fruition, and they're raking that money in. So the only hope I can have for this march and the protest tomorrow is that Levy will put the football first for a change, instead of worrying about all the off-field stuff and making millions of pounds. Put the football team first, because at the end of the day, we are a football team. We're not an entertainment. Well, we're allegedly a football team. We're not an entertainment arena. Put the damn football first, and let's see if we can bloody win something. You know, because all it is now is all the off-field stuff. He doesn't need Champions League money now with all the bloody other nonsense that goes on there.
Guys, right? Look, you three are a bit older than me. Haven't you just had enough of it? Because you've seen us win European trophies, FA Cups. Look, I've seen us win one FA Cup. You guys have seen more. You know, whatever cups you've won. Yeah?
Three FA Cups I've seen.
Yeah. Right. Now it's gone on so long. You guys, you must feel like you want to explode. I do.
Mm-hmm.
This is just not good enough. It's not good enough. It's unacceptable. I've had enough of it. I've just had enough of it.
It is unacceptable, Dan. But at the end of the day, Dan, at the end of the day, they're our teammate.
Yeah.
We'll always support them.
Of course.
Whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if they went to Div 2, mate, I'd still be supporting them. But at the end of the day, we want the best for our club, right? And I can't have a chairman, an owner, whatever you call it. What he's doing now is he's taking the piss out of the fans.
He is.
Yeah.
Right?
Highest prices as well, man.
We're all standing for it, though. And this is why the protests are so important.
Mm-hmm.
People have got a voice. And if you don't want him here, try, if you can get there, to go and show your voice. To show them that you don't want him here anymore, that you want something new. Now, there's nothing
something, isn't it? Fans can do something. Stop putting the money in the club. You know, like I know I don't expect fans not to stop going to the games. That's their love. Yeah, that's what they look forward to every week. I don't expect that. But don't spend in the club shop. Don't spend in the stadium. Sing Levy out. Sing your hearts out.
Yeah.
It's got to be consistent, even when we've won a couple of games. That's the problem, isn't it, in the stadium? When we're winning a game, you don't hear any Levy out singing.
The problem is, so many fans are still don't really think about the bigger picture. Like I said, I was at the Leicester game and I was in the South Stand. And big up to the fans I was around. All of them lovely. All of them really staunch Tottenham, singing all the chants, chanting Levy out. But actually, when we went 2-1 down with about 15 minutes to go, there was 3 guys that were sat around me and they were like, should we just go downstairs and get pissed? And they were going to do that. And literally, an old guy at the back who was with, I think it was 4 of them, is like, to be honest, guys, I just want to get out of here. Get as far away as possible. And they're like, yeah, all right, we'll go. But actually, they were all set to go downstairs and spend more money in the bar and get drunk than, A, support the club, or B, they're basically putting more money into Levy's pockets.
This is the thing I can't understand, right? There's loads of good pubs around that ground. Bricklayers, Bill Nick. Don't go in the number 8, don't go in the number 8 bar because Levy owns that. That's why beer is like £8.50 a pint in there. But going to bloody but going to Bricklayers. Now to me the Bricklayers is banging. That's my favourite pub up round there. You go into Bricklayers, it's about £5.50 a pint, which is about Coach and Horses. There's another one at the bottom there, Coach and Horses. Yeah, anywhere but the number 8 because Levy owns that, so you don't want to put more money in his pocket. But
Didn't know that.
yeah, it used to be called the Bell and Air when I used to go, because that was my regular pub, and then Levy bought it and turned it into the number 8 bar. And you go in there, and the price of beer in there is scandalous.
So who owns I just quickly button. Who owns the Brewdog? Levy don't own that because obviously they do podcasts from there, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you know where the number 8 bar is, right on the corner by the South Stand on the high road, sort of just virtually opposite the Ledley King Memorial.
Is that not the brew bar? Brew place?
No, it's on the high road. It's virtually opposite that bit that's got the Ledley King Memorial or mural.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think I know.
It's opposite there. And just round the corner from that is another bar, and I think Levy owns that as well. Is that Beavertown? I think that might be Beavertown.
Beavertown, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. But like the number 8 is definitely owned by Mr. Levy, so I won't go in there. I always go in either the Bill Nick, it's a good pub, or the Bricklayers. And the Bricklayers is absolutely banging. It's like there's singing, shouting, like it's like £5.50 a pint. I've normally had beer on the coach on the way up, but like I normally have 4 or 5 in there, 4 or 5 in there. Well, it's like I said, when I go to Tottenham these days, it's like a day out for me.
Are you coming up in April, Mark? Are you coming up in April?
I am, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right, all of you, and Nigel, you're coming, aren't you? We'll meet up.
Yeah, to Ben's, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Ben's.
Yeah. It's when see I was talking to Brian. It's when Brian's back as well, because Brian's back for 3 weeks to do with one of his nephew's bar mitzvahs. And I was speaking to him, and he said the 3rd week of the 3 he's over is the best for him. And I said, right, I'll get a few of us together, and we'll all meet up at the Kaufman's coffee shop, and we'll just have a day out. And I thought Thursday, because going anywhere on a Friday is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I'm desperate to meet Brian because I've never met him, and he's such a top bloke.
Yeah,
all the work he does.
Yeah,
he's just fantastic. I can't wait to meet him, to be honest with you, because I've got a lot to say to him in person. I think he's a lovely bloke, a really, really good bloke. And that's why I know I'll meet a lot of people while we're there, but he is the person.
What's the date on it? We got a date for that day.
24th of April.
24th.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah, we all got to meet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Is that a match day, isn't it? Isn't that a match day game?
No, I don't know. I ain't looked at that. I just picked that. Brian gave me the week. Brian gave me the week that it was best for him.
What day is it, or the week?
A Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It might be.
Thursday the 24th, but will we still be in Europe then? 24th of April.
I don't know.
So is that a European fixture to that game, Mark? That date?
I honestly don't know. Don't know.
It could be. It could be later down the line.
Brian, give me the best date, the best week for that he'd be available, because he's back in this country for 3 weeks. And I think the first 2 weeks he's got a lot going on. And then he said to me, the 3rd week I'm over. The last week he's in the country is the best week for me. And so I just picked the date. So I didn't want to do it on a Friday, because anywhere in this country on a Friday, the roads are like mental. The trains are mental, because everyone wants to go home for the weekend, and the roads are just horrendous.
I won't be going in the stadium now. I'll be
No. Well,
not offended.
We're not going anywhere near the stadium. We're going to Ben's coffee shop.
Okay.
Just everyone can meet there, and
if
we want to go to the pub and have a beer, we can, can't we? You know what I mean?
Thursday.
If we all meet there, everyone knows where that is.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm sure Ben will be pleased to see everyone as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Supporting a local business, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's only a small little coffee
sure
shop.
there'll be loads of other people going as well that we haven't met.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to meet, you know. Be nice for us all to get together and just have a chat in a room. Do you know what I mean?
We have met each other, have we?
No, I was going to say, I've never met any of you.
No. Just let you all know, I am 6'4" and like built like a tank. So you know,
mate, no worries.
Like 5'3".
That's right. Yeah, and no, I was going to say I'm like about 2'7".
Like that when I come in.
Yeah.
Happy days.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice, guys, to meet up with everybody.
Yeah. I was going to say I met Brian a few years ago when he was over, and that was only because I went to Ben's. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, going back to that comment, in 1991, when we won the cup for the record 8th time, the nearest to us was 7. I think it was Villa. Yeah. If someone had said to me, that's the last FA Cup you'll see to your like 50 odd at the earliest, I'd have never believed them.
No, me neither.
Because we'd won it like 81, 82, and 91, and slip a UEFA Cup in there in 84 as well.
I was still a teenager last time we won the FA Cup.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either.
No.
Only just. I was 18, I think.
Well, it's about time we got our Tottenham back, lads. At some stage, the recovery has to take place. And I don't know what the right word to use is, just for the fans, you know, when we see podcasts now going on and you see young lads like
here he is.
Cave, Matty Cush in the chat, you know, they haven't seen what we've seen.
Yeah,
they haven't seen the glory days. Do you know what I mean? They haven't seen, you know, lifting UEFA Cups in your own stadium with a packed house. You know, serious, you know, emotions and memories that will never be taken away.
No,
and I want to have that as well.
Yeah. If you just go back to Ben's comment, we were just talking about you, Ben, about the planned meetup, 24th of April, sir.
Get the coffee in, Ben.
Yeah. No, he's lovely coffee. I've been there 3 times, I think. 3 or 4 times.
Does it match up to Costa? Get my tin hat.
Hang on a minute. Oh my goodness, no.
But Mark, talk us through the 84 UEFA Cup, because you were there, weren't you? You were at the final.
I was there, yeah. It was just an amazing atmosphere. No Glenn Hoddle that night either.
We didn't have our dealies either, did we? We had quite a few injuries.
Or Perriman. No.
Or Clement.
It was all out. So it was, from what I remember of it, because I was 16, I was up in the shelf.
Has you been in the pub beforehand then? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I was up in the shelf. It's really difficult to explain the atmosphere, because it was almost like before the game, everyone was on tenterhooks, if that makes sense. It was a big final. And it was just, the atmosphere was just electric once the game got going. But my lasting memory of it all, obviously, was Tony Park saving that penalty. And from where I was in the shelf, you know, you're looking round everyone's head down at the goal, and you just see this body fling himself to the right and go charging off. You know, we've won it. And the crowd was just going mental.
Parks wasn't first choice either, was he? Parks was like the reserve keeper.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just amazing just to be there, just to be a young lad, seeing your team win at home like that. You know, and I'll always remember it. I've got memories from the FA Cup finals, both of them. You know, but that 84 European trophy, I'll remember that forever.
Was that your
Just-
best night, Mark, as a Spurs fan? Best
Say that again,
night.
mate.
Was that the best night as a Spurs
Oh,
fan?
ever. You know, like I say, I was at Wembley for Ricky Villier's goal. That was amazing. But to be in your home ground with your home fans winning a European trophy, you know.
Yeah, here you go, Mark.
It was
You see that?
special,
Oh,
mate.
it was the last comment.
Special.
It was the
You know,
last
and
comment.
I hope
That
these
one.
I hope these young lads come along and something happens, someone buys Levy out, and we can go and win some trophies and make these young lads proud for supporting our football club.
There you go, Mark. That comment now, look.
Yeah.
One Danny Thomas.
There you go.
What a player.
Yeah.
What a player he was.
You know.
Missed a penalty and the whole... I watched it at home, obviously, but the whole crowd sang his name when he missed the penalty.
Scotty, if we can get Levy out, I'm telling you, those days can come back again. If we can get someone to invest in the team properly, Scott, seriously, and get a proper manager in, those days can come back again. We can win trophies. And that's not me being a clapper, by the way. That's because I know it can be done. But Levy has to go. Otherwise, it will never happen. Trust me, it will never happen. Sorry, that's my passionate.
No, I agree. We're
No, I
Tottenham
agree.
Hotspur
I
at the end of the day.
agree,
We are.
man.
Yeah.
100%.
We're all Spurs fans, whether we got different opinions, the same opinion. We're
Absolutely,
all Spurs fans.
We are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Whether we've been cursed with that or not is debatable. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel like a curse at the moment.
Yeah, well.
Has anybody jumped off their seat this season and anything?
No.
No.
No, I haven't.
No.
Because we haven't got the players that can do that, Dan. They're not there. Or if they are there, they haven't shown it to us. You know, so whether that's on the players or whether that's on the coach's style is a different story.
Yeah.
But, you know, something's wrong somewhere. So,
I miss that feeling.
Yeah, it's,
You know, winning the game, scoring a cracking goal, winning a crucial match. You know, he's gone. It's completely gone. This season is the worst.
Well, what I will say is probably most people have seen it. But if you want to see class, go back to, I think it was 87. Again, I was there in the shelf. Glenn Hoddle's last game for Spurs.
Oh,
So
Oxford.
if you've ever not seen the goal, any Spurs fans, just type in Glenn Hoddle against Oxford.
Yeah.
If you want to see someone take the piss out of players, just watch that little clip, because that was class, elegance, and someone who knew how to play football. Unbelievable player. I don't think the like of him will ever be seen again. He was just special, and you had to be of an age, like I am, to see what that man could do with a football. You know, he was absolutely exquisite. And I remember Ron Greenwood being the England manager at the time, and Glenn never got the caps that he deserved.
No.
You know, he was cast aside a lot. But, you know, all I can say to any aspiring footballer, you know, even the young ones of today, I know you've got your Mals and your Messis that you look at, but go back and look at Glenn and see what he could do. You will learn a lot. You will learn a lot.
This comment here, that was a good moment.
Yeah.
I loved that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, probably the fondest, I wasn't actually there, obviously, but the fondest memory I got, and I cried, is Lucas Moura in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I was in the pub.
Got me as well. Got me. Yeah.
I was in the pub, so I was 2 parts of the wind anyway. Right? And when Lucas Moura did his madness and we got to a Champions League final, I never, ever, ever. Now, I grew up with the European Cup when Liverpool won it. I can remember Forest winning it. I can remember Villa winning it. You know, 70s, 80s, the British teams dominated.
Jack Grealish's dad, that, wasn't it, Mark, for Nottingham Forest? Tony Grealish, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
He played with Trevor Francis and that in
Oh,
81,
yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah. I can remember seeing Forest winning it. I've seen Villa won it around the same time, I think. I think they won it, unless that's me being a bit mad. But Liverpool in the 80s dominated it. And then we got chucked out for a few years. And I never, ever thought I'd see Tottenham in a Champions League final. Ever.
Can I just reply to Cockney Geezer? He's just put a little note on there about the Glenn Hoddle chip, when he chipped the keeper. Cockney, I was there at Vicarage Road, right behind the angle of when he was on the corner and he chipped 6'7" Steve Sherwood, had him floundering around like, I don't know what he was doing. And Glenn put it straight over his head in the top corner and hit the stanchion in the corner. What a goal. The best goal I have ever seen live. You had to be there. And I was only a kid, but you had to be there to witness it. It was really special, unbelievable. That geezer scored some goals, man. He was some player, Glenn, some player. Very underrated.
Glenn was my hero growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, he was everyone. Yeah. He's by far, now obviously none of us here are old enough to remember Jimmy Greaves.
No, unfortunately.
But but like Glenn is the best player I've ever seen play for Tottenham. Hands down. Close second to, I would say, Paul Gascoigne. Because Gaz was an amazing talent as well.
He didn't have the longevity, did he, at Spurs?
Yeah, no. If you're just talking about sheer flair and get you off your seat players, like Glenn and Paul Gascoigne. That's the two best players I've seen play for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And that's not even a competition. They're head and shoulders above anybody else.
We haven't got flair players like that anymore, Mark. Not even to 3/4 of that standard. Do you know what I mean? We ain't got players in our team that could do what Glenn could do back in the day.
Right. This could be our final discussion. Where does Kane compare to these Hoddles and Gazers?
Our last one.
Different type of player for me.
Yeah. Kane is just an out-and-out goal scorer.
Kane for me is the only world-class player we've had in years. Had this argument or conversation with my son last night. We were talking about Kane and Haaland.
Yeah.
And my son was like, Kane's brilliant, obviously, but Haaland scores goals. But for me, Kane 3 times the player Haaland is.
Yeah. Kane could do everything.
Yeah, Kane was our best defender, best midfielder, best attacker when he played for Spurs.
Do you remember that game?
He learned to do everything, Nige, didn't he?
Yeah, he had to, didn't he?
Do you remember the game against Southampton, I think, where Sonny scored 4 and Kane assisted them all?
Yeah.
That tells you all you need. He wasn't just a striker. He could create the damn things as well.
Yeah, I'll go back a few years now. I'll tell you a little story. One of the first times I went to Spurs, we had a young lad, Scottish lad, playing for us in midfield called Alfie Conn. Don't know if any of you remember Alfie Conn.
I've heard the name.
So anyway, I think I was in what would have been the Park Lane end with me dad. And he took the ball. Ellie will probably remember this. He took the ball, ran it to the halfway line, stopped the ball with his foot on the centre circle and sat on it, taking the piss out of everyone. Can you imagine doing that in today's game?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? He's like, gone to the centre, he's gone to the halfway line and basically said, "Come on, lads," and sat on the ball. One of the most magical things I've ever seen. It was brilliant, and it got the crowd up straight away. Just a little snippet of my Spurs life. I just thought I'd let you know about that.
Andrew Gregory has just put in, was that against Leeds?
It could well have been. It was a long time ago. I was only a kid, Andrew, but I just remember it happening. It was just magical to see. He was brilliant, Alfie Con. Brilliant.
Yeah, I tell you what's really nice is to see like the chat. Obviously, you don't know a lot of the people in the chat, but you get to know their names, and then you realise actually when they're coming up with comments, is actually they know quite a lot about Spurs. They've lived through quite a lot of Spurs, which is really nice to see.
Big up to everyone in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your comments. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, we are going to wrap it up in a minute. But yeah, it's been a really good show.
And just to let all the viewers know, we will be doing this probably on a weekly basis. We're hoping to.
Yeah, we are hoping to. We obviously haven't, because we're that disorganised, we ain't arranged nothing for the next one, but I'm sure it will be discussed.
Yeah.
Right.
So keep an eye out, everyone, because there's more content to come about your beloved Spurs.
It will be on one of our.
Try and keep it light-hearted as well. Sorry,
Mark. Yeah. No, that's all right. I was just going to say it will be. It was on your channel tonight, obviously, Nige, and then next time it's going to be on Dan's or ours. We ain't even decided that yet.
Do it on you guys' channel next, and then we'll do it on mine after.
Whichever, mate. Don't make no difference.
I was going to say,
we're all in it together.
Yeah.
So.
And listen, and sometimes we're going to have to talk about the tough stuff. I know, Nige, keep it lighthearted, but sometimes we can't avoid it. It depends on where we're at. I mean, we've had this week where we've had no game, so we're kind of a little bit more mellow, aren't we? Because we haven't had something to moan about. It's been a bit of a break. So but it could, depending on what's going on, could be lively.
Yeah, definitely. It is what it is, isn't it? We're here to talk about Spurs, aren't we, at the end of the day, for the good or for the bad.
Exactly.
So we'll just get on with it and talk about it. If people want to tune in, they'll tune in. We try and give you as many facts as we can at the end of the day and give you our opinions. That's what we can do.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will leave it there.
Right.
Please subscribe to Dan at the Spurs Dan List. Please, obviously, subscribe to the 2 Mark Show as well. And subscribe to myself, Pure Coys. And we will see you on the next show. Thank you for everyone who's joined in, who's come into the chat. We've really enjoyed it. It's been a lovely Friday evening chat. And we will see you on the next Spurs Unscripted. Thank you from me. Thank you from the guys. And we will see you on the next show.
See you soon.
Big up. Big up,
Good
everyone.
night.